I was taught that one should do higher repetition movements with lighter weights in order to warm up. And then one of the things that did make a big positive difference for me in terms of strength and hypertrophy training was to do a moderate repetition warm-up with a fairly light weight, but then to actually keep the number of warm-up repetitions fairly low and work progressively toward the first so-called work set. When you say 3 to 5, that's 3 to 5 work sets, correct?
Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe. Comment below if you enjoy.
Are you also going to tell me 3 to 5 warm-ups?
No.
Are you also going to tell me it has to be done between 3 and 5 p.m.? So in terms of
With 3 to 5 friends?
In all seriousness, what does a good warm-up look like?
Yeah.
And I realize this will vary depending on how cool your training environment is, time of day, etc. But as a kind of umbrella for a good warm-up,
Okay.
what should people do?
You've already sort of jumped the gun with my answer. It is honestly very dependent upon the person. So some folks respond very well to a minimum warm-up. Others, I've had lots of actually professional fighters I've worked with, where I actually have a Major League Baseball player right now. He's one of the best pitchers in the game, probably the best. And the longer we warm up, the better his numbers get. We actually did a vertical jump test with him. He's gonna kill me because he got so mad. I wanted to see how long it sort of took him to reach a peak vertical jump. And most times this takes people something like 5 to 10 sort of reps. And I said, take it up all the way to a maximum vertical jump. And then what I want you to do is continue to jumping until you have 3 consecutive jumps where you're down lower than 90%. And so what we were trying to look at is sort of when is he going to break? Because in baseball, he's going to throw like 100 pitches or so. And we're trying to figure out when is his peak velocity on his fastball going to drop and sort of base his conditioning on that. It's a different style of conditioning. It's power endurance. It's really what it is. He called me in the middle of it. I'm like, oh, you done? Whatever. And he's just like, no, like how many of these am I supposed to do? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm on rep 130 or something. And I was like, what? And I'm like, what rep did you peak on? He peaked on rep 70, something like that. 69, I think, technically, because he's goofy. So he's a classic example. I've worked with him for many, many years. We have a ton of data on him, a ton of biological data, a ton of neuromuscular stuff, like all kinds of stuff. And it just, the more he warms up, an absurd amount of warm up, the better he gets. And the better he gets in power production, and the better he gets in speed and velocity. So his warm up prior to games is totally absurd. And just the more volume we throw at him, the better he does. I have other folks, you get past like 2 or 3 reps and fatigue starts to set in. And now you're actually like reducing power production. So there is a ton of variation that goes in that. I can give you some guidelines though. You need to differentiate if you're training for speed, power, strength, or hypertrophy.